Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Can you guys all hear me this morning? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Just gonna go ahead and start with our updates. I'm doing the EFC trading here, and we've got the euro dollar made a nice move yesterday, and that's pretty exciting. And also the US yen made a nice move. If we go back to the chart that I had set up here, you guys remember I was talking about this, and it's kind of cool because I actually, and this doesn't count for the challenge because I love to take the trades live, but what I did on this, and I can actually show you just to prove it, but I did take this right up in here. And so currently I'm up about 160 pips. So my thinking was that we had this fake break. Okay, remember yesterday I was talking about, and you can go back to yesterday's video, and it's kind of cool to go back and look at the old videos. At least it is for me, because like I can see what we were talking about, and then you can see how the price develops, because things just change and move, and having these videos helps you go back in time and see what you were thinking and see how the market plays according to what your thought process was. And so, like if I just pull up this video, I can go back to yesterday's YouTube video, and look, this was yesterday in the morning, and you can see what I was talking about right here. I was saying, hey, I'm thinking this is going to go short, if you guys remember that. Well, what happened was the market, as soon as I got off, the market shot right up into this area. And when I saw that, I'm like, is it going to break out or is it a fake out? And we always talk about fake outs and breakouts. And my reasoning was because it was overextended, and also because there wasn't a ton of strength on it. I'm like, this thing's going to go, this is going to be a breakout. So I got a really tight stop, very tight stop, about 17 pips. So I got a 17 pip stop, and I'm currently up 160. So I'm actually almost at a 10 to 1 right now. And oh man, that is so awesome to be able to do. So again, doesn't count for the challenge, but hopefully it still brings some value to you guys. And you know, Abbas, I appreciate you saying great call, and that's good. But again, I don't really care if I'm right or if I'm wrong, because the market is going to do what it's going to do. And I sound like a broken record. I say that all the time, but I've just learned that over the course of time with trading. And you know, I'm not anybody special. I'm not anything at all. I'm just trying to share experiences with you guys. So anyways, that was yesterday, and so I'm still going to be hanging on to this. If you look, this is one of the problems with the EFC, I think, and I'm going to work on this, but it's actually not designed for these lower time frames. That's not how I trade these at all. I look for it on a higher time frame, and then I look for the entry on a lower time frame. So in this case, I'm still thinking short. And so when I see these signals, like when you get the blue and the green, this was actually a long signal, right? And because the way that EFC works is and I go back to the first video, you'll get some really in-depth, it's the EFC training. It was done on Monday, but when you get the yellow and then the blue and then the green is actually an inter-trade trigger. So this was actually a losing trade because here's the entry, here's the take profit, and this is that. But for me, that was never a trade because I'm short. Because this is way too early. It's overextended on a 15-minute, and yeah, it could bounce, but I'm looking at a daily time frame. Right? On the daily time frame, it was overextended deeply. And so that's why I did not look at that short position. And so whenever I use the indicator, I'm always also looking at potential setups on the longer time frames. I combine them together. And so now that I've got this daily move here, I'm really expecting the price to keep moving down a little bit more. And so since I've got a really nice trade in, I'm going to lock in some profit and do that. And I can actually really excited about locking in on this one and getting a really good trade. And I'm actually going to do that right now. And I can show you I actually have it here. And I'll just pull up my other platform just to let you guys see it. If I can drag it over here. And don't pay any attention to any of this stuff because this is just some other stuff that I'm trading. But I did take this trade. I just wanted to show you guys so you could see where it was. But here was the entry right here. And if I drag it was a 20 pip stop, like about 20 pips. And now I'm up 160. So if we do 20, so this is my real trade. So 20 times, I forget, 20 times 10 is 200. So if I get to 200, then it'll be a 10 to 1. So right now, 20 times 8 is 160. So right now it's an 8 to 1. But I mean, honestly, isn't this great? And this isn't to brag or say that I'm a great trader, but isn't it great when you can get a setup that does this? Part of the reason is these markets have been really useful and helpful, but you know, this is just a really cool trade. So what I'm going to do now is since it's up 8 to 1, I really don't want to mess with that too much, so I'm going to actually lock in some profit right here. I'm going to lock in some decent profit. All right, so there we have it. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, now back to finding some setups today. All right, so let's see, what do we have for today? Okay, so right now, I'm going to tell you something else I did too. You can see I actually took this euro as well. I had this little range here, and if you notice, I don't know if I talked about it yesterday or not, but this was a losing trade, and so I knew that it was still overextended, and I was looking for a long, so I went ahead and took this euro on a breakout, and I took that trade. I'm actually out of that trade already. That was a good 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. It was a little bit bigger of a stop because I got it down here, but it was still a really good trade as well. And so I'm not usually in the habit of talking about my great trades because that doesn't help you guys. Well, maybe it helps you guys a little bit, but what I'm really in the habit of doing is finding trades live. So let's go ahead and look at let's see what we can find here today. This dashboard is very helpful because it shows us some good entries and what's happening. The blue means the trade hasn't triggered yet, so let's start with some of those first. If we can, here's one that on Litecoin, and it hasn't entered, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. And if your broker has Litecoin, you can trade crypto a lot of different ways, but let's look here. So this is I got to put my other template on, EFC. Okay, so this daily. So on the daily it's down, and it's actually just triggered a long trade on the daily, and it actually looks pretty decent to me because we've got a nice long move down. We've got the consolidation down here. It looks like it just broke up, and now let's take a look on a 4-hour time frame. And so it's moving up. Okay, I like this. let's go take a look at a Fibonacci retracement here. I always like to use the Fibonacci just to see where the market could take us. So it's at 23, so it could easily go to 38 or 50. The market will oftentimes on a strong trend turn around on the 23. So it could turn around and keep going down. And for those of you guys that are used to being around me, I always say the stupidest stuff. I'm like, yeah, it could go long or it could go short. Yeah, it's so hilarious. Yeah, it could go long and it could go short. I'm like the weatherman, you know. The weatherman's the only guy who says it could rain tomorrow, it could snow, we might have sunshine, you know. But but the difference is, so weathermen and technical analysts are the only people that can be totally wrong and still have a job, right? But the funny thing about that is traders cannot. I'm not a technical analyst, I'm a trader. And so, yeah, it could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways, I don't know. But what does matter is when I find out what the market's going to do, I'm going to take the trade and follow it. And if I'm wrong, I lose money. If I'm right, I make money. And that's all there is to it. And the more I look at these charts, the more experience I have studying them, the better I'm going to be at identifying these patterns. But identifying the patterns isn't the secret. The secret is letting the market do its thing and me just not really caring. That's the secret here. And so so that's the daily. There's definitely some potential targets on the 38 and the 50, but I want to look at a fifth drop down to a couple lower time frames. So in the hourly, what am I noticing? I'm noticing that we have a little trend here, okay? And so this is looking good, in my opinion, for either a break down or a break up, okay? And we got a little triangle, okay? And this is on an hour time frame. And my bias, just like I said yesterday, for those of you guys that saw the video yesterday, my bias is short, or is long, because why? Because it's overextended. Because look at what happened the last time it was overextended. It went way up. But again, this one was wrong. Okay, this one was wrong. This one was right. So we have this one was right, this one was wrong, this one was wrong, this one was right, this one was right. Is this one going to be right or wrong? So right here we have 3 and 3. 3 right and 3 wrong. But for those of you guys that have been following me for any length of time at all, 3 and 3 is big money. It's big money. Okay, and I'll prove it to you by pulling out my spreadsheet. And so here's the spreadsheet. And this is my new spreadsheet thanks to Renee. Renee, you're the man. I'm going to be thanking you for a long time for this. And by the way, this is going to be available probably tomorrow. I'm still not totally done with everything. This is going to be available for everybody tomorrow. But okay, so check it. If I'm right 3 and wrong 3, that's big money. Why? Because I'm going for big winners. My average win is 3,905. My average loss is 975. I'm at a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. 38% is my winning percentage. Okay, 38%. So as you can see, looking at that, whoops, wrong. Okay, as you can see, looking at this, 3 and 3 is pretty darn good. It's 50%. And if I'm getting 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 10-to-1, it's really doing well. And so at this point, I got no idea. I mean, this is a downtrend. This is a downtrend, right? You can see that it's a downtrend by looking here. Okay, we got a downtrend in place. Okay, so for me to think, oh, I want to go long in a downtrend, does that make a lot of sense? Well, it's overextended. So it could go back up here, right? And I like channels too. So we got a little bit of a channel going on. So if it goes down, we're looking to hit the bottom of the channel. If it goes up, we're looking to hit the top. But right now, we're right in the middle. And we've got a consolidation pattern forming in the middle. Right here's a consolidation pattern forming in the middle. And so I'm going to just mess with my properties here for just a second. Okay, and I'm gonna be watching this trade right now. It is looking pretty sideways. I mean, that's the only way to explain this right now. And so if we get a burst of action, I'm going to take this trade. I wouldn't really take this trade right now because it's still consolidating. If I did take it, the problem with taking a consolidation trade is that it could whip you out, in and out pretty easy. And that can happen anyways. It can go in and out really easy, but you can get whipped out really easy. But definitely, it helps with a breakout. And someone asked about it being extended. Well, the EFC will tell me based off of these colors when it's if I go back to the daily time frame, when it's getting red, that's it. Well, when it's yellow, that means it's overextended, and then blue means that it's in divergence, and then red means a short signal. So again, here it's yellow, blue means it's divergent, and then green means short signal or long signal. So the nice thing about this is it was oversold, but we didn't get a signal till back here. There were a couple signals here. This was a signal, but it didn't trigger. When you see the green line show up, it triggers the signal. And these are really good on a daily time frame. Like you can see 3 and 3, 50% is amazing. The problem is on a daily time frame, you're not going to get a whole lot of trades, and you've got to get a really big stop loss. And so that's why I usually will drop down to a lower time frame unless I'm trying to go for something really massive. Okay, let's go ahead and look and see if there's anything else triggering. Okay, so we got the dashboard here. That's the other thing. The dashboard is going to show me some. It says USD CAD is potential setup. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, it's definitely over. It's down. Let's look at it on a daily time frame. And daily would have been, yesterday would have been amazing, to be honest. Yesterday would have been the best possible setup we could possibly do. But I got the US yen very similar here to the US yen. But today I probably wouldn't mess with it just because this is still going. Oh, but I need to get back to the EFC template. Let's see what that's showing. Okay, so on this particular setup, it's showing that it's overextended here to the upside, but it didn't get far enough to actually trigger a trade yet. But a trade will be going on the short side here. But on the 15-minute, we can see that it's looking at a long trade. And again, this one triggered yesterday. And this one triggered yesterday. It was a pretty nice setup. It ended up being up 58 pips, but it wasn't. We set this for 3-to-1. So the stop loss was 40, and the take profit was 120. So it didn't quite get there, got about halfway there. So if you would have set your target up to a 1-to-1, you would have been fine on this one. But that's why I like to wait and use the daily confirmation and go in the direction of the daily reversal rather than take a short term. This is another one too. Look at this one. This was a good one. Went 90 pips, but didn't quite go the one all the way up to the 3-to-1. So again, if you can take some of these shorter ones, just lock in your profit quicker too. This one was a total loss. This one was up about 30 points before it went down. And so a lot of times these entries will be pretty decent, even if it's not in line with the daily time frame. Okay, well, I have to take a trade live. I don't have to, but I like to. So I'm going to take one here on this Litecoin. I'm going to go ahead and go long on this. So let's go ahead and calculate. Oh, look, just as I said that, it's entering. So let's calculate the stop. I'm going to go here. The stop loss is about 70 cents. And I honestly don't know how this thing works with Litecoin. And so let me, let's pull up my pip calculator. This is really awesome. This is going to help me improve my trading. So thanks again. But if let's say I want to risk $1,000, okay, and I need to learn what my pip value is. The pip value is really easy to figure out for Forex pairs. It's not as easy to figure out for Bitcoin. So I'm just going to take this and see what I'm going to come up with. Oh wow, it took it all the way up there. So the spread on this thing is insane. Is that what? That's crazy. How's that? Let me check something here. Yeah, so look at this spread. The spread on this is big. So one of the reasons they do this is because there's no commission on these trades, but a very big spread. So you have to add that into your stop loss, your spread, which is kind of a reason why I might not trade these very much in the future, because that's just insanity. Okay, so the good news is it's not a lot of size here. So based off of this, I have one lot, and my stop loss is $170. So if we do the math on that, one lot at $170 at, what was the pips? The pips is about 7 pips. Let's just do a 10 pip stop here. And then these are actually cents as well. So okay, so I'm going to do 20 cents. And 20 cents is $197. So I'm going to go back to my calculator here. And I'm going to pull up the calculator. Okay. And we're going to say 20 cents. We'll just do 20 divided by, wait, how would I figure this out? If I know that one lot, usually it's pretty easy because I know, okay, it's $1 a pip or whatever per pip. So this is why we should learn math here. Why I should have paid attention when I took math, which I did not. Actually, I could tell you stories. During math class, I was like reading books or doing something that wasn't associated with math because I hated it so much. Okay. But we got, right now we have the stop loss on this is 100 and, what was the risk here? $195 at 20 cents. So basically, if I wanted to risk my 1,000 at this is 200. So I could probably risk lots. 3 times 200 is 600. 4 times, so I could actually go to 4.5 lots here if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. For one, as I hate this spread. But again, this is not a terrible trade. It's not ideal because why? Because I wasn't patient enough to get into the entry I would normally trade. And remember, this, guys, is for educational purposes only. Okay, this is not, this is for educational purposes only, and not because I want you to follow me around and do what I do. It takes a lot of experience and time to get the hang of this. This is all education. I'm not recommending any trades. I'm just showing you what I do. Okay. So anyhow, I'm just going to keep this, but I will add it to the calculator or the spreadsheet since it's an official trade. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do this. Oh, this is the wrong one. Finding the right one. Let's close that. Find the right one. Here we go. This is the right one for now. Okay. So this is it. And I'm going to put in my risk here. And I'm working from home, and so this computer at home is just terrible. By the way, it's really slow. And I didn't put my target in, so let's do that. I'm going to go to probably to this 50, just under. And Litecoin can move pretty good, so I don't have a problem with this. So my target is roughly 1289. My stop loss is 200. So pretty good risk to reward. I'll be very pleased if I can get this trade. If I can't, that's just the way trading is. But I'm going to put my target here at 1289. And there we have it. So that's the trade of the day, guys. Hopefully this was valuable. Hopefully you guys learned something. I enjoyed being with you. So someone was asking if most of my trades are dependent on the EFC. Basically, the way that I'm doing this right now is I'm taking EFC trades because I'm trying to help some of my members that don't know how to trade EFC. Some of the people that have purchased the indicator have asked some questions, and I wanted to really give them some great info. So I am taking these trades using the EFC to help my members, to give them some education. And also, so no, the answer is no, it's not my primary trading method right now. I do trade reversals, but I haven't used the EFC. So trying to help my members out and give them some training. And I'm also evaluating this indicator, trying to make it better because I'm going to do some upgrades on it. I'm going to write down notes from what I've learned and make this better, and then send those notes over to the programmers. The programmers are going to update this indicator. There's already been quite a few updates on it, but whenever we release an indicator and someone buys it, they get access for life, and they get access to all the upgrades, and we're upgrading it all the time. And this is one of the reasons why I did it, was to get the upgrades. Yeah, it's nice to be home. My kids were actually sneaking in this morning, which is really fun. My 6-year-old, He's was very happy that I'm working from home, and so that's kind of cool. Can't complain too much. Just the computer's not. It's not not my ideal scenario, and I might set up a better setup here. I just have always been of the mindset that, you know, with 9 kids, working from home is just a crazy idea because they're always going to be distracting me. But you know what? Hey, it's totally worth the distraction, right? So yeah. So it's been good. Okay, guys. Well, again, thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for learning. Thanks for your questions. Appreciate everyone. I'm going to do a special webinar today at 3 o'clock. Okay, so for everyone that is interested, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be going live, and it's going to be some basic training on the full-time trader course. So again, also, if you guys didn't know, we're giving away the full-time trader course for free, and we're doing that just to help people out during this crazy epidemic where people could be losing work and everybody's stuck at home. We want to help people out as much as possible, so we gave away our full-time trader course for free, and now I'm going to go ahead and jump in there and do some live training. It's going to be right here. I'll send out an email if you're on my list. If you're not, just watch the YouTube notifications, but that could help if you just like the stream and hit the notification button so that you get notified. On YouTube, it's the bell, so that you get all the notifications. On Facebook, I don't know what it is. But again, thanks a lot, guys, for spending time with me this morning. Bye.